During your free time, you can read storybooks too. Wangare the storyteller takes us through some interesting stories.
Hello, how are you? My name is Wangare the storyteller, and of course, this is story time. Today, we're going to read from this book. Yes, I know it is a really big book, but I love this book because it contains 100 different stories about amazing women from all over the world. And today, I will read you two, not one, but two stories about amazing women. Well, let's start going. Our first story is about a woman who you might know very well. Her name is Michelle Obama. Who can tell me who Michelle Obama is? Yes, she was the first lady of the United States of America. And do you also know that she is also a lawyer? Yes, she is. In today's story, we will learn a little bit more about Michelle Obama. Once upon a time, there was a girl who was always afraid. Her name was Michelle Robinson, and she lived in Chicago with her family. She was always very worried. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. And her mother would say, if it can be done, you can do it. Anything is possible, her dad would add. Michelle worked hard. Sometimes teachers told her that she should not aim too high because her grades were not that good. Some people said that she would not achieve anything big because she was just a black girl from the south side of Chicago. But do you think she gave up? No. Michelle chose to listen to her parents. Anything is possible, she thought. And so she worked hard and she graduated from Harvard and became a lawyer at a big firm. One day, her boss asked her to mentor a young lawyer. The name of this lawyer was Barack Hussein Obama. They fell in love and they got married a few years later. And one day, Barack told her that he wanted to become president of the United States. Can you believe it? At first, she thought he was crazy. But then she remembered, if it can be done, you can do it. So she quit her job and helped him on his campaign. Barack Obama won the elections twice, and Michelle Obama became the first African American First Lady of the United States of America. Well, do you want to know what her motto is? No one is born smart, but you become smart through hard work. Well, I hope you learn the same thing too, that if it can be done, you can do it. And that no one is born smart, but you have to work hard. That is the story of Michelle Obama. Now, the next woman we are going to learn about is a woman I love a lot. Well, I love that she also has a name like mine. No, she's not my sister. And you might know her as well. Her name is Wangare Maathai. Do you know that here in Nairobi, we actually have a street named after this amazing woman? Let's find out what her story is. Once upon a time, right here in our country, Kenya, there was a woman whose name was Wangare. When the lakes began to dry up and the streams began to disappear near her village, Wangare knew that she had to do something, and she called a meeting with other women. The government cut down trees to make room for farms. But now we need to walk for miles to collect firewood. One woman said. Let's bring the trees back, Wangare said. How many? The women asked. And do you want to know the number that Wangare Maathai gave them? A few million should do it, she said. A few million? Are you crazy? No nursery is big enough to grow that many trees. We are not buying them from a nursery, Wangare Maathai said. We will grow them ourselves at home. And so Wangare Maathai and her friends gathered seeds from the forest and planted them in small cans. They watered them and they looked after them until the plants were about a foot tall. And then they would plant all these small trees in their farms. Well, this idea began with a few women. But just like a tree that comes from a very tiny seed, this idea spread and grew into a widespread movement. It is called the Green Belt Movement. And the Green Belt Movement expanded beyond Kenyan borders. 40 million trees were planted, and Wangare Maathai was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her work. The Nobel Peace Prize is a really big prize that is given to only a few people in the world. And she was celebrated by planting a tree. That is the story of Wangare Maathai. And I hope you learned something from her as well. That if you want some change to happen, then you have to do the work yourself. Don't you love amazing people? I definitely do. And I hope that today's stories serve as role models for you as you grow up. Well, bye.